Welcome everybody. I'm Robin Alsip Arce, and today we're going to take a look at how I made these little beauties. We're going to walk through the process, and I hope you'll be inspired to go make something beautiful. And I'm going to mention this project is all about the layers. Layering, layering, layering. So here we go. So I made this double-sided bell this time. Have a few little issues with it, but once I crusty it up and make it crusty, rusty, it will not show. So what do I have here to use today? I have DIY paint in Mermaid Tail. I have some mixture of DIY paint from Mermaid Tail and Old 57 to give me a little bit different color to use as well. That's what's in this container. I have some Folk Art Home Decor wax, which is a liquid wax, that is a dark wax. I also have some Art Alchemy metallic wax in Bronze Age that I used here. You can see some of that at the top and here at the bottom of the bell. And I also have some Dixie Belle clear coat in flat. And I like to use this on top of my chalk paint because the chalk paint will really absorb the wax. So I go ahead and do that on top right after I do a base coat of the chalk paint. All right, so here we go. So first thing that I'm going to do is give my bell a base coat all over of the mermaid tail. Oh, I forgot, I also have some cinnamon. Here I have organic cinnamon because that's what's in my cabinet. So that's what I will replace in my cabinet later. So here we go. We're going to give a base coat to the whole thing of the mermaid tail. I'm not super worried about coverage here. I'm just trying to get a base coat on and get it dry. You'll see it dries a lot lighter than it goes on. You can see here it is much lighter. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on that clear coat so it does not absorb quite as much of the wax. Once that's completely dry, I'll slow it back down and we'll look at the rest. All right, so now I'm going to take some of the wax and I'm just going to get some on there. So I'm going to put it all over, not anything fancy, just get some on there and start wiping it back with a wet wipe so I can start building some dimension. And I apologize, I am out of frame there quite a bit, but I think hopefully you're getting the idea. And then I'm just building it up in areas where I want it to be a little darker. And I'm also using this wax as the glue for my cinnamon. And here we go with some cinnamon. Now, a lot of times I will use Mod Podge or glue, but since the wax is wet, it's going to hold onto that. And I like to press it in and then I start kind of brushing it off with my hand. And the harder I brush, the more comes off. So you'll see that in some places I'm brushing not as hard as others. And I am so sorry that I am not in frame there. But again, I am brushing off cinnamon and putting a little more wax where I want more cinnamon. And I will just keep going with this process. If you're finding this valuable, I'd love if you would like and subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on Facebook at 3131 Custom Creations. That helps me out so much. Thank you. what I'm doing here is I'm adding more wax to darken up some of the cinnamon. So in some cases I add more wax to put more cinnamon, in other cases I'm darkening it up. And then I'm adding more paint where I think I want more paint because maybe I overdid the cinnamon and the wax. And here I'm adding some of that mixture of the Old 57 and the mermaid tail to give it a little bit different shade. And I'm just wiping it on and rubbing it off. And you'll see, and drying it, and you'll see that I use different brush strokes to get some different designs. Sometimes I do more of a little bit of a dry brush with the wax. Other times I do a little bit more swirly motion, maybe with some of the paint. I think someone had asked me about that swirliness that I was getting on some of that verdigris there. So I'm just continuing this process over and over until I like the results. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I don't have enough paint. Sometimes I feel like, oh, that's not dark enough. Some of the cinnamon I leave the rusty color. Some of the cinnamon I go over with the wax. And again, multiple brush strokes. Let me slow this down a tiny bit so you can see some of the different brush strokes that I'm using to get the various effects. And one of the things I'm also trying to do is get it to be cohesive as you cross from one side to the next. Right here, you'll see that I want to try to make sure it, kind of flows between the two sides. And again, there's some more dry brush strokes, and continuing to just wipe some back. So I'll just let you watch for a minute. There I did a little bit swirly brush strokes on the paint, which is kind of that technique I got some of that swirl on. Here you can see that I decided I needed something a little bit lighter, so I grabbed some of the DIY Old 57 and just put tiny little bits here and there of the much, much lighter color. I'm grabbing some of that Art Alchemy metallic wax in bronze, and I'm putting some of that on there. Now here I'm just kind of finalizing, deciding if I want more blue, if I want more rust, if I want more wax, the various colors. And I'm starting to just finalize where I'm at. So there's where we are, and I think we're pretty close to finished here.
The only thing left is to seal your finished creation and enjoy.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some inspiration and now you'll go and make something beautiful. Have a blessed day.